foreign direct investment policy and diaspora engagement. Madam Presiding Officer, we are mindful of the fact that to fuel our economic transformation, we need to significantly address the financial constraints affecting the Assembly. We also recognize that to drive our development in any meaningful way, we must mobilize resources beyond our budgetary allocation and our domestic resources. Sure. In this regard, we believe foreign direct investment can be a significant catalyst to drive Tobago's economic development. Over the last 20 years, Tobago has not done well in attracting foreign direct investment. Accordingly, this administration will work to reduce or eliminate some of the legal as well as institutional constraints that negatively impact Tobago's attractiveness to foreign direct investors. In this regard, over the next fiscal year, the THA will move aggressively to stimulate FDI inflows by 1. Developing a comprehensive investment policy that addresses the key constraints to doing business in Tobago. 2. Lobbying the Cabinet to amend the Foreign Investment Act and to review and promote the fiscal incentives that are currently offered to investors in Tobago. This is critical to ensure the country's economic diversification efforts. 3. Having the current land licensing regime removed. Yes. It is inimical to Tobago's autonomy efforts to have some ministers sitting in an office in Port of Spain without a clue about Tobago's needs, cultural nuances, and spatial issues, but down there deciding who can invest and where they can invest. Only a PNMTHA could have so carelessly given away Tobago's economic independence. To solve Tobagonians' concerns about FDIs, this administration will be doing a comprehensive spatial plan for Tobago. This plan will determine and protect environmentally sensitive areas and the integrity of small villages.
Take notes.
Creating appropriate zones for commercial activity, residential activity, and agricultural activities. This spatial plan will be the new way to manage FDIs among other investments and where they are placed. This is what Tobago should have done in the first place.
All right.
It is wholly undemocratic and can potentially lead to corruption to have 1 or 2 public officers deciding for an entire island where FDIs should go.
Precisely.
The spatial plan, the comprehensive spatial plan, will determine where they will go.
Yes.
Streamlining the processes and procedures for foreign investors for ease of understanding of the requirements for investing in the Tobago space is now a necessity. Already, foreigners and trainees are commending us on our decision to abolish forthwith the archaic dress code policy. Even some central government services in Tobago have adopted the policy, namely Registrar General's Office and licensing.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Madam Presiding Officers, yachts in Trinidad are complaining that they are required to come ashore in the dinghy, dressed in long pants and shoes, and sleeves on their shirts in order to access services of customs and excise and immigration. Tobago is leading the way. Expediting the development of a land use or spatial development plan that will identify designated zones for certain types of development projects will critically solve a lot of our issues with FDIs. Lobbying the Cabinet, we will also be lobbying the Cabinet to use the Trinidad and Tobago embassies, high commissions, and consulates abroad to facilitate investment. The Tobago desk at our embassies and consulates should be re-established. And we'll be launching a very aggressive investment marketing campaign to encourage persons from the diaspora to invest in Tobago. Yes. In other words, come back home and spend your money. There is a large number of Tobagonians domiciled outside of Tobago that are willing to contribute to the island's development. We must harness the skills and abilities of these persons to deepen our economic and social transformation. In this regard, over the next fiscal year, we propose to develop a comprehensive diaspora engagement strategy to provide a clear framework for the diaspora contribution and participation in Tobago's development. We will develop and maintain a comprehensive database of Tobagonians in the diaspora. We will collaborate more effectively with non-governmental organization groups in diasporic communities in providing philanthropy of different forms to the health sector in Tobago. We will promote a diaspora homecoming event to coincide with the Heritage 2023 celebration. And so if you're watching from on Facebook, from out there in New York, start to book your ticket for Heritage 2023. Come home.
Massive.
We will develop a mentorship program utilizing successful professionals from the diaspora to assist in capacity expansion of young Tobago professionals. We will collaborate with NGO groups in diasporic communities in hosting trade shows and exhibitions, thereby providing market exposure to Tobago businesses, products, and services. We will collaborate with local NGOs, cultural groups, fashion designers, agro-processors, and other artisans to travel to areas with significant number of Tobagonians living abroad to engage and promote opportunities available at home. And Madam Presiding Officer, let this House know that at this very moment, the executive is considering two such proposals, a cultural group out of Roxborough and a group of young fashion designers. We will also provide a suite of incentives for Tobagonians returning home to invest in commercial activity on the island. Madam Presiding Officer, the Diaspora Engagement Unit and the Foreign Investment Unit in the Office of the Deputy Chief Secretary will be tasked with leading our strategy to attract foreign direct investment from our diaspora.